Good morning.
Good morning, Leo. How are you?
I'm good, and yourself?
Doing all right. Just got a lot to do.
Okay. Thank you for being on time. What do you got to do today?
Well, the biggest thing is I've got HOA problems today. I live in a tiny, well, it feels tiny because there's four people here, but it's a 900-foot condo with limited storage space. So I've got some stuff in my carport garage and whatnot, and some things that I've done to my little space outside that the HOA is. Well, they've sent out a letter to the whole community. They're going to go by and clean up everything this week and starting today. So I had to get a storage unit, and I've needed to sort through some of this stuff anyway, but had to get a storage unit and start bringing stuff over there. And I'm on the lookout for them to come by
I
and
see.
get in the way, be like, no, no, you're not taking my things. I am getting them out of your way. I just need to know which things you need me to move. So,
I see. Okay. You didn't give me a lot of information when you scheduled the call. You just said something about life, or
oh,
what did you want to
Um,
talk about today?
well, I think you had responded to, I had a rough week, maybe not last week, but the week before, and I made a post in the dad's group,
Right.
and
Okay.
I was just really down, and I think that you might have seen that, and then you sent me a message on Messenger that I didn't see for a few days.
Right.
Um,
Okay.
so yeah, I mean, there's been a lot going on other than, just normal everyday stuff like the HOA thing or just my house is a mess here. Um, just been dealing with a lot. Got laid off 3 months ago.
Oh, wow. You have
My
kids?
severance, I got two daughters,
How old?
uh, 9, well, soon to be 9, and the wildest 2-year-old you've ever seen.
Yeah.
And my partner, mother of the 2-year-old, lives here as well.
Mm,
But
that's
I'm
got to
still married.
complicate things.
Yeah, and I'm still married to my first wife. We've been having a very rocky divorce that's lasted 5 years.
Wow.
And she's been a real pill to deal with during this whole situation. She she's got me paying over 3,000 a month in alimony and child support, and she hasn't been working herself for a couple years now, so I've basically been footing the bill for two households. So obviously the job situation adds stress to that, although I'm off the hook for support next month, maybe the month after.
So,
And
so
I'm
you
in,
have a bit of breathing room, but
yeah,
not a
so to
lot.
speak. I still live in the biggest or most expensive real estate market in the country, San Jose, California. Maybe San Francisco is a little bit more expensive, but for this 900 feet that we've got, we're paying 2,300 a month.
Mhm.
So that's 5,600 a month right there. My girlfriend does work. She is a daycare teacher, which she takes our 2-year-old with her to the same place, and it gets us a nice discount on that service. But yeah, I'm just going to be, my severance is ending this week, and I'm going to be on unemployment, um, unemployment only starting next week, 450 a week. So, working on a settlement with my ex, and there's also been some other stuff like my girlfriend got frustrated with the situation. She went by my ex's place one day, and they had words.
Oh, that's never
And
good.
no, and then my ex took out a restraining order against my girlfriend that also protected my daughter. So
Oh,
for a couple weeks there, this was a year ago. For a couple weeks there, I was under the impression that I couldn't have my girlfriend and my daughter in the same place. So my attorney would not take that case. I had to get a second attorney, pay a second retainer, and that case ended up costing me over $24,000.
Wow.
And that's my girlfriend's case. And as part of the settlement that my ex and I are finally were close to getting our divorce settled, but she wanted that case dropped and my girlfriend didn't want to drop it. We won, and her attorney says she's entitled to the attorney's fees for the case. The problem with that is obviously my ex doesn't have anything to pay her with, so she's not
Right.
going to get her money. So I've been
Right.
like, can you just drop the case? Well, given the situation, and she and I have been sort of on the rocks, she wants a security blanket. So I'm having to sign a civil contract with her that if she leaves me anytime in the next year, I'm going to have to pay her $2,000 a month for 12 months.
Wow.
And she's agreed as part of the deal that she will at least stick around until I get work again. But that doesn't mean she's going to leave, but it's certainly not an enviable situation to live under. So with all that's been going on, and then like she and I had like a really good 2.5 weeks in a row where we didn't have any conflict. And then uh just kind of out of nowhere, um she overreacted to something, and she kind of goes back and forth from I love you to I'm gonna leave you. So I think she has borderline personality disorder, so it kind of contributes to mood swings and such. So that's what got me just kind of over the edge. I had myself thinking that I'm just gonna let the bank take my house and stop making payments, figure out a way to go live in Mexico or something, and let these women that are taking advantage of me take care of themselves. But I don't want to leave my kids, obviously, so that's not going to happen. Just that was a really rough day where I posted that on the dad's group. I guess I just needed to vent. A couple other guys reached out. There's one that lives here in the Bay Area that I started a friendship with. I guess he doesn't live that close, but close enough, and we've started talking a little bit. Things have improved since then. I just took a trip to Denver. My dad's brother passed away last December, so they had a life celebration for him in Denver. I was able to get out there, pay my respects, see my cousins, my aunt, his wife, and my dad and my stepmom were there. So was able to get away from some of the responsibility, have some alone time, have some family time, and just clear my head, I guess. So my outlook is much better from where it was a couple weeks ago. But I think it can be very dependent on what's happening. And I think a lot of it would improve if, even if I come to the realization that I'm probably going to lose my girlfriend at some point and split up a family again, which is, that's a real trigger point for me. I came up in a divorced household and I never wanted to get divorced to begin with, even though I wasn't in a good relationship with my first wife. It's still like a trigger point for me, just breaking up the family. My two daughters have different moms, but they seem to absolutely adore one another, especially, my 8-year-old towards my 2-year-old. She loves being a big sister and just not wanting to break all that up. But at the same time, I think if I were to just get a job offer and get started with a new opportunity, then, it would allow me to feel like, hey, I can get through that if that happens. But just interviewing and try not to get too, you have to sound excited, but I try not to get myself too psyched up about anything. I don't know if you know, I'm a pharmaceutical sales rep by trade at this point, or some sort of medical selling is what I'd like to do. I've been in sales for 15 years, but I like, uh, I like calling on doctors. I like representing products that I feel help patients through either debilitating diseases or life-saving products, that sort of thing. That's what I like. I get a lot more fulfillment out of what I'm doing, but I can't just take any position either to survive by myself, which is what I need to plan for just in case. I need at least 6 figures for my base salary, commission opportunity, and I do side gigs too whenever I can. I drive DoorDash, whatever I need to do to keep the lights on. That's what I've done for the past couple of years, especially with all this court fees and such. You look like you're frozen there. Are you still with me? Lost you. Can't hear you. Are you on mute? Hmm. I can't hear you. Can you hear me? I can't hear you. Tell you what, I'm going to leave and come back. Can you hear me? I'm still not hearing you. Is it your headset?
What about now?
Gotcha.
Okay. I was wondering, what the hell is going on? Okay, I muted myself.
Did you catch? I mean, I kind of gave you a.
No, I heard everything you said. It's
Okay.
just my microphone was off.
Gotcha.
Um,
So yeah, real quick. I saw your message, and you had said, "Are you open to any advice?" And I'm definitely open to. I mean, I don't know what it is that you do. I kind of looked at your profile and saw some stuff about handyman work and.
well, I run 19 different construction companies, but what I'm thinking is one of my clients actually runs a medical device technology company. And what I was asking you before that you couldn't hear me is, do you have relationships with doctors in your area?
I have a lot of primary care relationships, and my last role I was in inhalers and asthma biologics. So I called on allergists and pulmonologists along with primary care in the Bay
Oh,
Area.
okay. This
Relationships with other
client,
doctors, not really, but I can sell anything. I've sold advertisements on magnets on fridges in college towns. I've sold telecom services. I've sold vaccine, and I've sold inhalers and biologics. So I feel like I can kind of step in with proper training and learn to sell anything.
okay. Well, this company is um, helps with communication with outpatients. When patients get released, they get technology. Um, and this company needs someone to go and see all the doctors and tell them about the service. Is that something you might be interested in?
Yeah,
Okay,
I
it's been
will
a few
say, I mean,
months.
It's not completely dry. I mean, I had a really good interview yesterday and I'm having a second round of it Friday.
Okay.
And there's some other opportunities that they're like drug launches that start end of July, maybe, or mid-July into August, that sort of thing. Kind of got to wait on some other ones, but certainly still applying, still trying to get fresh interviews because I mean, I've been doing this for 3 months since the layoff happened. And I mean, I've had some good interviews that I thought were going well, and then they just go with other candidates in those situations. So I can't take anything as a certainty until it's a certainty.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Okay.
so I did find a side gig. I'm going to be printing and shipping payroll checks for a company, and that's going to pay like $800 every 2 weeks. And I can do that on the side of what I'm getting from unemployment. It will reduce my unemployment a little bit, but it will increase my total income for the time being. And it's something I could just, obviously I can just do it when I have time or on the side from anything else. My main goal is to continue interviewing, continue working for, excuse me, medical sales opportunity until I have one. So yes, to short answer that, I'm open to it. Like I said, I need my primary job that takes me out of the house 40 hours a week. I need it to be 6-figure opportunity in this area. So I don't know if that's what this opportunity would bring, but certainly feel like it would be something I would want to hear more about at least.
Okay. Well, like I said, I haven't reached out to him in a couple of months. So I'm not sure where he is, whether he's still looking for people, but he was at one point, right? I believe the last time I talked to him, he has about 1,000 sales reps all over North America. So he's looking to expand that.
What's the company called?
I forget. I'll look into it. Also, have you considered starting your own business instead of being an employee to someone else?
Sure. I just don't know what that would be that I could just snap my fingers and make enough money to survive here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well,
But yeah,
nothing would be
I'm open to
snapping your
that idea.
fingers, right? Nothing would be snapping your fingers and magically something happens.
Well,
Uh,
sure. I just don't have any ideas for what that business would be at this point. So I've been focused on just trying to get back into the field or similar field to what I was doing
yeah.
the last 5 years.
Yeah, the problem with getting a job, you can also get fired, right? When you own your own business, it's very hard to fire yourself.
Sure.
I have to say that I'm partial because I've always been involved in the construction industry. I started my first construction business when I was 17. So I mean, someone in your position with a sales background, you could start a multi-million-dollar painting company as an example. Hire trained professionals to do the work, and you handle the marketing and sales. That's what I would do if I were in your shoes.
Yeah. Well,
How many connections do you have on Facebook or LinkedIn?
Facebook, probably a lot less than I used to. The last political cycle drove a lot of connections. Well, I drove a lot of connections away, I feel. Um, but that's all right by me.
Well, now you know why I lost my LinkedIn account 8 times because of COVID mandates and stuff. So I understand where you're coming from. But I shouldn't have done that because it's costing me millions, literally millions of dollars, because
Yeah.
I was so passionate about what I was doing, but I didn't really understand the consequences. 100% of my new clients were coming in from LinkedIn. So,
Yeah.
um, why don't you give that some thought? I need to get on another Zoom call in 2 minutes.
Sure.
But if I were in your shoes, and by the way, I also wanted to share my first divorce cost me $7 million. So I understand what you're going through. Also, the love of my life who moved to Mexico because of COVID mandates and stuff. She told me yesterday that she's flying. This is the love of my life. She's flying to meet another guy. So
Yeah. How do you deal with that? I mean, that would feel devastating to me.
well, it is devastating. I didn't sleep at all last night, and here I am trying to function with this. And we communicate 3 or 4 or 5 times every day. But we both know that she's living in a different country. She's not coming back to Canada. And we need to move on. But it's still devastating, right? So anyways, I really need to go. We'll talk again soon.
All right.
Take care,
Nice
Adam.
to know. You too.
Take care.